Welcome back to my channel. This is Fashion Blast Up, your number one channel for anything tailoring. So today we are making this beautiful armless jumpsuit with flare pants. So do well to subscribe and don't forget to ring the notification button so as to be notified whenever I upload any of my videos. Thank you all for your love. So my returning subscribers, thank you for always tuning in and for all your love. Thank you. God bless you. I'll be starting with the upper part of the jumpsuit. So I'm having half length of 15 inches. So, and I'm working with 3 yards of this vintage crepe material. So the first thing is to cut out the half length measurement from it. So I'll be using the remaining fabrics for the pants, for the flare pants. So half length of 15, I'll be adding 1 inch. So I'll be cutting out 16 inch from here now. I added one to the half length, so which is the 16 inch I'm marking and cutting out now. So the remaining, let's say 2.5, is what I'll be using for the down part of the jumpsuit. So now let's work on the upper part now. So this is it. From the open end here, I'll chalk down 2 inch. This will serve like the zip allowance. Or let me make use of 1.5 inch. So let me join the line and make it visible for you to see. So I'll fold again and make this the second end here to be on the 1.5 I marked earlier, which is for the zip allowance. So this is it. So this side will serve as my center line. Working with a back of 7. So here is where my 7 inch is. Here is where my 7 inch is. So I'll come down and add 1 inch. So that will give me 8. So that is where my bust. That is where I'll take my bust measurement. Here I'm working with a bust of 36. So and the material is in 4 fold. So 36 divided by 4 will give me 9. So I'm adding 3 inch allowance. So that will give me 12. 9 plus 3 will give me 12. So this is where my 12 inch is. So I'll come to the down part here and take my waist measurement. And I'm working with a waist of 32 inch. So 32 divided by 4 will give me 8. So I'm adding 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is 11. So I'll then have to connect these two. These two. So now to the here now. I'll make the wideness for both front and back to be 4 inch. So this is where my 4 is. So the 4, I will then connect it in a slant form like this to where my bust measurement is. The 4 I marked here to where my bust measurement is here. So in a slant form like this. So for the neck, I'll make the front to be 3 inch depth. The depth to be 3 inch. So that will give me 4 by 3. And for the back, it will be 4 by 1.5. So let me cut this out first. Okay, let me position it like this for clarity. So I need to separate out. So the depth for the front is 3. So this is where my 3 is. So I'll just connect to this. And for the back, I'll do the same. So this is where my 1.5 is. we'll put it back in order to put the dart. So for the dart, the nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 7.5. So that is like 3.5 and 2 line if I divide into 2. So with that, I'll be marking 4. And the nipple point is 12. So I'll be stopping that on my 12 inches. So I'll mark 4 like this. So from here now, this is where my nipple point is, which is 12. So I'll mark 4.5 from the down part till I get to the 12 inch that way. And here I will measure the armpit depth I'm having here, which is 11. This gives me 11. So I'll divide it into 2. So this is 5. So I'll then have to connect this to where my 5 have. So with that, I have my perfect princess dart. So with this, I'll come back to cut out the turtleneck, the material that will be used to cut the turtle later. So now to the down part. Now you have to fold into a triangular shape, just like this, as if you want to cut out flare, just as if you fold to cut out flare. So this is how you fold into 4. So the length of the jumpsuit is actually 55 inch. So remember, I already cut out the half length. So I'll be subtracting the half length from the jumpsuit length. So 55 minus 15. So that means the pant length will be 40. So 55 minus 15 will give 40. So I'll go to the down part like this. I don't know if the camera really carried it. I want the. So I'll come to around there and measure. I will add 1 inch. So I'll measure 41. So this is where my 41 is. I'll come to the end like this and measure 41 again. So this is where my 41 is. So I'll connect the 2 point this way. So in order for me, before I will start cutting out, I need to confirm if this actually covers my horizontal measurement. As in, if this is up to the waist plus other allowance I'll be needing. So here now, let's see what I have here. This 11.5 inch, which is quite okay. Which is quite okay. So from here now, I'll be taking my waist measurement on it. And my waist is 32 inch. So when I divide 32 into 4, it will give me 8. So I will add half or 1 inch allowance to it. So this is where my 9 is. So the crotch depth, I'll be using 13. I'll be using 13. So this is where my 13 inch. So from here now, I'll just go in by 2 inch. 2, I'll mark 2 again. I'll mark 2 again. So I'll then balance it to where I marked my waist measurement to earlier. So the calculation of how I get my crotch depth and length is being displayed on the screen as seen. So the next thing is just to cut out now. Now I need to measure down the pant length. So remember, I'm making it 41. So 41 here, 41 like this. So I'll then cut this out. So the next thing is just to cut out material to replace the shortage I'm having here. Now for the neck, in order to have a perfect turtle, for the neck, I'll need to measure what I have around the neck. So remember the front and the back, they are into 2 folds each. So let's measure for the front. So this is 6 in 2 places. Remember it's in 2 folds. So 6 times 2, I have 12 for the front, and for the back this is 5. So 5 times 2 will give me 10. So 10 plus 12, that is 22. So the total length of the turtleneck I need is 22. 12 for the front, 10 for the back. So I can actually make use of this piece I cut out from the pants flare. So, and when we divide 22 into 4, 22 into 4, that's like, is that not 5.5? Yes, that is 5.5. So plus other allowance, let's just make it 6. Now I want the length to be 4 and 2 inches. So I'll be marking out 5 so that when I fold, it will give me 2.5. So half will be the same allowance. So I'll have 2 left. So I'll mark 5 this way.
The next is to add your collar stitch to it, and after all the necessary joining, this is the beautiful armless jumpsuit with flare pants you have. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and kindly click the notification button. Thank you. God bless.